Good morning, everybody. I am Diana Castile here in Hendersonville, North Carolina. For those of you who don't know me, hey there, Miss Michiko. Good to see you this morning. Thank you, Holly and Stephen, for trusting me and allowing me the opportunity to do some product training this morning with you guys. I'm going to try and do a screen share here. Hold on one second. Share computer. Let's see here. See if this works. All right. Can you guys see my screen? Somebody, yes. Can you see what I'm looking at here? Michiko, can you see? Okay, perfect. All right. So what we're gonna
Yes.
look at today, perfect. I'm gonna go through here with you guys. Let me see if I can get this to. What I'm trying to do. Oh, there we go. Need this to go full screen. Okay, so we're going to look at here a couple of things, and what the first thing we're going to look at is the under our connections here on the ARC. I'm going to go through on last month's call, and one of the things that Stephen has talked about a little bit is the ARC. And there have been some great changes that they've updated on the ARC. And one of the things I want to do is show you guys where to find some of the training on the ARC. If you go into the ARC on connections, and then you go to NAA TV, you can actually go into here, and if you log in, oh yeah, I keep forgetting that your login is going to be the same as when you log into the ARC. And I'm going to walk you through this because I've had this is something that I actually show all of my new agents, and I wanted to show you guys. If you type in here, search ARC, it is going to bring up all of the product training here, because some people do better with just the audios, and then some people are visual learners like myself. So on here you can see the product training for the ARC or this on the CRM. There's the first one, there's part 2, and then there's part 3, and then here it's got the audio. So you can do one of two things. You can go in here on the NAA TV and find the product training on here, or you can go to the Alliance Media. It's called Prodcast for product training, and you can look up the information on there. And so that's why I wanted to show you guys how you can find the information on here, so that you can actually go back and look up the training. But I highly recommend that if you haven't watch the training on the ARC, that you definitely go in and look at this information, because this CRM tool that we have with the ARC, the ARC itself is just hands down one of the best tools that the Alliance has provided us with. I mean, I was paying almost $1,000 a month for a CRM tool. So for them to have put this together for us to be able to use as agents is something that we really, if you're not using the tools that we have in this, you really want to make sure that you are utilizing this to the maximum abilities, particularly with the CRM that they've updated into it. It's a phenomenal tool. Also, with us being able to, because I've had some people, I've gotten messages or calls and stuff about trying to find a reference information about different product calls. Like we're going to go over Sons of Norway today. If you type in Sons of Norway, it will pull up the product training from November 19th. So you can either listen to or view the product training that Gina did on November 19th for Sons of Norway, or you can find it on the Alliance Media app, and it's episode 179. So you can go back and see either way. But this is a great way for us to be able to utilize this information if you aren't able to view the training when it's initially done. So that's why I wanted to go over that information with you guys. Also, we're going to go into here under the resources, and we're going to look here a little bit today at our advanced resources. And the reason I want to take a look at the advanced resources is because under this advanced resources, there's a really good breakdown here for us. First appointment tools. So it's got your ATM, it's got the green sheet, it's got a fillable form. So I know that on last month's call, Evan Patzer had a form that he had available, but right here on the advanced resources, we've got here one that we've got available to us from the Alliance that we can use. We've got the green sheet here, and there's even a Spanish form. Gustavo and Mercedes, thank you very much. The debt questionnaire, if you find somebody who's got some debt that you can use. So all of these different tools that are here for us to be able to use. And then there is one here that I wanted to highlight that I'm also going to tie in a little bit about the Sons of Norway, because this is one that I actually have printed off and laminated. And it's in the sleeve in the front of my ATM. This is the leading cause of death. And this is actually from the CDC. And this is something that I want to say it was a boot camp that was done when I first started. Somebody pointed this out. I think it was Eric Lardy was doing product training and tied this in at one point. And I have been using this ever since. This tool here is something that is really handy, because if you look at the breakdown here, it shows here on the top. I'm going to minimize myself there. Across this top line here, you see the unintentional injury is the leading cause of death by groups from age 1 to 44, and it's actually gone higher because people do everything but drive because of using their smartphones and streaming and all kinds of stuff. And when I show this to clients and I point out that this is a CDC thing, this is not an insurance thing, and I just let it sit and let the silence do the heavy lifting, 9 times out of 10, the question I get is, well, how much would something like this cost me? And this is a very important thing, because something that Stephen mentioned during a training years ago that I was part of is that the more that you can build into a home with a client, then the less likely you are to have them canceling policies, or the less likely you will have with somebody else being able to come in behind you, because you are showing them the value of what it is that they have. So being able to show them why this is important to them, with being able to have, doing an accidental policy, it's a huge thing, because a lot of people are like, oh, well, I don't need an accidental policy because it's only going to pay out if I die from an accident. Well, you can show them that, statistically, the odds are really high that it could be an accidental death. And I got a text message from a client just this past week thanking me because he just got a check for $125,000 from an accidental payout after his wife passed away, in addition to the payout that he got for her forester's policy. So this is something that is really a big thing to be able to pair those things together for a client. Now, I want to go in here also, height, weight chart, diabetes ratings. These are things that you really want to make sure that you're looking at as well. So you don't end up having somebody that gets a decline because you haven't looked at those primary things for someone. So definitely make sure you're utilizing this advanced resources information that we have. Now I want to, I don't know how to get back to you guys. Hold on a second. Okay, there we go. I want to talk a little bit about the Sons of Norway. With the Sons of Norway product, and I'm just going to do an overview because, again, it is on the product training, but I want to go over some highlights from that because we've had, I had somebody text me about it yesterday. I had somebody actually call me about it, and I am going to show you guys here. This was the sheet that I had pulled up because I actually wrote somebody a Sons of Norway policy this morning. And this is my report from Sons of Norway. As you guys can see, this is just from February 5th. I am writing quite a bit of Sons of Norway. And the reason that I'm writing so much Sons of Norway is because Sons of Norway will literally cover anybody. So I have a client who is vertically challenged and horizontally blessed, and she is under the age of 50. Which means that CVS, even though there's no height weight chart on it, she still is not eligible for CVS because of her age. So, and she's outside of the height weight guidelines for all the rest of our carriers. So I wrote her an accidental policy and a Sons of Norway policy. Nobody else would cover her because of her height and weight except our Sons of Norway. I have another client this morning that her, because of the budget that she is on, everybody else was outside of where she wanted to be because of the amount of coverage that she wanted to have, except for Sons of Norway. Now, to be very clear, we don't get the commission with Sons of Norway is not a lot of commission, but we're ethically bound to do what's in a client's best interest. And because I was able to find something for this client who was trying to find something within her budget to get the wife covered who just did her last cancer treatment a couple of weeks ago, I wrote 5 more policies in the same family because nobody could find an affordable policy for the wife. I was able to get the husband and all the grandchildren covered because we found something that seems like it would be an illogical balance for most people. It's like, well, if you're going to do this many people, then why wouldn't it? Because they wanted to keep it within budget. And initially they were just trying to find something for her. Since I found something for her, then they were happy to find something for the rest of them. So the Sons of Norway is a really great product. A couple of things with the Sons of Norway. They do have specific draft dates with that. Also, they're not available in all of the states, but something that did come up yesterday, I had an agent actually send me a message, and so I checked with Gina Hawks. If the owner of the policy with Sons of Norway is from a state that the product is available in, then you still can write the policy. So for instance, Alabama, Sons of Norway is not available in Alabama, but it is available in Texas. So if the owner lives in Texas and they're going to be the owner of the policy, but the person that you're writing the policy on is in Alabama, you still can write them. I hope that makes sense to you. They do have their Sons of Norway is a fraternal company like Foresters. So there is a annual, it's $18 for their annual membership for it, but it's one time. It's a one-time annual membership fee that's paid with the first policy draft. And that's it. If the and there, you definitely want to go in and take a look at or listen to the training that Gina does, because it walks through on filling out the application as an electronic application, on how you can quote it, the whole process. You can do it it's super simple to follow through. Doing it as an electronic application, it's definitely one of the easiest e-apps that we have to do. There's a couple of points that you want to make sure of. Make sure that when you're doing the clients and beneficiaries, that you have their full name, including their middle initials. Put them in, it will give you an error message. You also have to have, for your beneficiaries, their full names and birth dates. That's something that's a little different from some of the carriers that we have. So that's why I wanted to give you guys just a couple of highlights with them, with the Sons of Norway. But definitely become familiar with the Sons of Norway, because if they are breathing in between the ages of 0 and 85, Sons of Norway will cover them, as long as it's in a state that they are, that they cover people with the product. And there's just a couple of them that I found that they're not in. So definitely become familiar with the Sons of Norway product, because I've been very happy with even being able to go back to some of my current clients who we hadn't been able to cover before, and getting them covered with the Sons of Norway product, which is, I'm going to go back to the ARC, because if you're familiar and you're utilizing the ARC, then going through that CRM with your current clients and having those conversations with them, then you can, be able to help some of those people that you may not have been able to help before. So utilizing some of the new products that we have at our disposal at this point is a really good opportunity to be able to help to get some people covered that you may not have had opportunity to cover before. So pairing the two items that we've been looking at today is a really great chance for us to be able to get some people covered now that we may not have been able to, or may not have thought about getting covered before. Autism, juvenile diabetes, it's just so many of the different things that we weren't able to, thought before, okay, well, we don't have anything besides an accidental policy to get somebody covered with. That's not an option. It's not an issue for us anymore. So I'm pretty close to the end of my time. If anybody's got any questions that they might have, you can put them in the chat box. If not, I'm going to go ahead and introduce the next speaker for today. I'm trying to figure out how to get this back onto full screen. It is my privilege to be able to introduce our next speaker. I am so proud, and I'm very excited to be able to introduce our next speaker. It has been my privilege just to be able to watch him continue to grow. I remember very well meeting him for the very first time. He's one of my adoptive children. So Michael says I keep collecting kids, just, because it's who I am. That's why y'all call me Mama D. I'm so proud of him. I was so excited to see you get your ring, Mr. Evan. I'm excited to continue seeing you do some big things. So without further ado, I cannot wait to hear what you've got to say and share it with the team. So everybody, let's get our listening ears on. It's for Mr. Evan Patzer. Evan, you there? Are you there, Evan? I don't see Evan. Well, I'm not sure where Mr. Evan is. Okay. Does anybody have any? Oh, somebody is Sons of Norway 10% right now. Yes, it is 10% within the first 2 years. Unless it is an accident, then they pay out the full benefit if it's an accidental death. And I don't see. Okay. I don't know. I know Evan was. Okay. It looks like Evan's having some trouble getting on, so we're going to. Okay. That's a good question. Does anybody else have any questions? Also, just a little more information as far as some of our final expense or accidental. I don't know if you guys are aware that with the yes, yes, it does cover sickle cell. Literally, I've got some background. Michiko, I think you're unmuted. Sickle, and that's a good question because I actually have somebody that I did get covered that has sickle cell. Literally anything, doesn't matter what it is, they will cover them. So they will cover. It's a very good question. They cover everybody, anybody, any and everything. That's a good question. For accidentals, the new foresters, accidental, definitely take a look at that if you guys are writing that, because it does have a rider on it for a disability rider. So like for instance, I've got a couple of people who are self-employed that I've been able to write them that accidental policy with the disability rider for like $750, because it's got the disability rider that will cover them if they have a disability that's within their job profession. So take a look at that, because it gives you an affordable option for people who are looking for something within a disability realm that they can have. So like I have a client who is a hairdresser that wanted to have a disability coverage, and she couldn't afford like just a traditional standalone disability policy. And now she's got an additional accidental policy with the disability rider on it. So definitely something to look at. There's some other, different ones who were not able to get, certain types of coverages because of types of jobs that they have. But like with I know with the Mutual Omaha accidental policy, I've got several truck drivers that are covered, that I have covered with Mutual Omaha accidental policy, and it pays out an additional 25% if their death isn't auto and pedestrian. Well, for them, that's a no-brainer because they're on the road all the time. So if their death is on the road, their families are going to get an additional 25% if they die in an auto accident. Well, statistically, the odds are much higher that that's where they're going to die at, because they're always on the road. So just doing the math for them and helping them to see the value of that has been, a huge thing. And when you look at the difference in the cost of adding a standalone accidental policy as opposed to just doing it as a rider for somebody, a lot of times the difference in the cost is nominal. So a lot of people are like, okay, I'll do that. The Mutual of Omaha accidental policy, you can do it as a family for an individual and a spouse, or family, but not with the foresters. So that is the difference between the two of them. And the Mutual of Omaha accidental will also cover a person until they're 80 years old. And the premiums are still going to stay the same. So that's another thing. It's a huge thing. I like I write a lot of them. I have been, I don't think I have done an accidental rider on a policy since I heard Stephen say it's like, it's equivalent to not switching banks because it's just too much of a hassle once you got a bunch of accounts with them. I was like, ooh, I like that. And so you're getting a regular policy, you're getting an accidental. I'm doing an HMA. Because now I can cover your dog. I'm writing them all. I'm doing every single one of them. I'm like, oh, you got a dog, you got a cat. I got a policy for that. You need a prescription coverage card. I got you covered with that. We can literally get everybody covered. So definitely go back and take a look at the benefits that we have with the ARC and the CRM, because it is definitely something that we need to be utilizing more of, and making sure that we're taking advantage of all the benefits, the advanced resources that we have available to us. That chart that we have on accidentals, like I said, I've got it laminated, and I've been using that for as long as I can remember. First time I saw it, I was like, yep, because it's self-explanatory. We don't have to say anything because it speaks for itself.
Diana, can you do a live diagnosis for me? I just wrote a lady a policy, and then she said, I need to get my mom covered. She's got a mortgage.
Okay.
She's 78. She's got diabetes, being treated by glipizide and metformin, 2.5 milligrams, two times a day. She's on a thyroid medicine called levothyroxine.
Okay. Levothyroxine. Sure.
Yeah, I wrote it down off the bottle. 75 milligrams.
Okay.
And then she's got high blood pressure that's treated with lisinopril, 12 milligrams twice daily. She wants as close to 90,000 as she can get. So I'm thinking we might have to go term. I don't know. Diagnose this live on the boot camp.
Foresters.
Foresters what?
I would go with the Forester Strong Foundation.
At 78?
Yeah, they'll cover up to age 80.
All right. So just so everybody knows, this is what I do when I don't know what to do. I call Diana.
I would usually have a text message in my phone.
That's real time. Like this is my note that I wrote, because she was like, I got to get coverage on my mom. We got to get at least something. She's got no life insurance.
Just double check her height and weight to make sure that it's on the she's within for the diabetes. Since she is diabetic, make sure she's within the height weight range for the Foresters.
I didn't get height and weight. Come on, Stephen.
So remember when I made the point at the beginning of this call that there's a height weight chart on the Foresters for diabetes? I'm really glad actually that you asked me this question, because you want to make sure that it's within the height weight range for the diabetic chart, because there's one for regular and there's one for diabetes, and you don't want to look at the wrong one and then get her decline because it's the wrong one.
Yeah, gotta get the height and weight. All right. While Evan's teaching here in a minute, I'm gonna call the client back and say, about how tall and how much your mama weigh? That's one of the things I love about the insurance business. You can ask someone how much their mama weighs and get away with it. If you did that in any other context, it'd be fighting words.
Yeah.
What's the best way to ask?
Yeah.
What's your height and weight?
Yeah.
Just like a doctor.
Yeah.
Doctor's got no shame in asking it.
Yeah. Just asking. We're like, so how tall are you? And we're like, okay. And they'll tell you, like, okay, and about how much do you weigh? And they'll tell you, man, woman, child. And we're like, and I just ask it, if you don't make it an issue, they won't make it an issue.
Heck yeah. So write this down. Casually presented, casually taken. casually presented, casually taken. It's like people say, I can't get people give me the information for a bank draft. It's because you act like a weirdo when you ask for it. Stop acting like a weirdo.
Yep.
Just
If
be
you're
normal.
not a creeper, it don't come across creepy.
That's daggum right. Hey, Evan's getting ready to jump on. Are you almost done, Diana?
Yes.
Okay. Because here's
You
what
know, I'm a talker, so I'll just keep talking until you say, okay, we're pulling a plug on you, lady. I love me some product knowledge.
Hey, and so here's what I do want to talk about real quick. Take action. Don't get bogged down in I need to learn all the products before I do anything. Here's the beautiful thing about the CRM. Get out there, start writing simplified issue term, start writing simplified issue whole life final expense. And then when you learn a new product, just call back through all your clients again. Yes. It gives you a reason to call back through all your clients again. I'm calling back through because we just found out about this product, thought it might be helpful to y'all, wanted to bring it up to you. Just learn a product every month and call back through your client base. Learn a product every month and call back through your client base.
You don't need to know all the information about products. No shade. Stephen Davies is a perfect example of you don't need to know all the information on products. Because if he's been doing this for 20 years and he don't have any shame in asking somebody else about product information, ain't no reason for you to be like, oh, well, I need to learn all this before I can start doing something.
Yeah, I wrote 29,000 this week, and I asked for product help on the call in front of everybody. You don't got to learn everything. So it gives you a reason to call back to your clients, because the CRM we have is magic. If you don't know how the CRM works, get your growing upline to walk you through the CRM. The CRM is absolutely magic. All the sales I make are coming through my CRM. I'm not buying leads. I've got 3,400 and something clients. Now, how do you get that many clients? Well, I sold for a ton of years, right? So you just keep filling your CRM up, and then you got something to call about every month, every single month you got something to call about. You got a new product to call about. Hey, learn how the Americo smoking thing works. Me and Evan are calling back through our clients that smoke, and we're saying, hey, Americo believes in a healthy America. So they've started this smoking cessation rate program. Here's what they're going to do. If you don't know what I'm talking about, ask your growing upline. So Diana, thank you. And I was like, I got to find out what's right for this lady. So I thought I'd ask you live in front of everybody. Now I know what to do. Well, I got to find out how much she weighs and how tall she is, but I'm going to find that out. And I'm going to look at the diabetic chart. And I'm going to write a strong foundation, dadgummit.
There you go.
I love it.
Advanced resources.
Absolutely.